Dory. And offside was Sittler, as Dory was just getting set to make a play to him. Out-of-town score, it's now New York 1, Chicago 1. The Blackhawks white from Angotti Nesterenko at 17:56 of the second period. There you see it, a 1-1 tie. Walton back to Dory from the face-off. Dory moves over the red line. Kick pass to Sittler. Sittler tried to set up Walton. Was checked. The puck goes down the ice between Selwood and Dory. There's still 4 seconds left in the penalty to Dallas Smith. A quick pass to Walton. Walton up at center. But tied up. Has it again over the line and given a jolt. The puck goes back to the net. 10 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in this hockey game. Toronto leading 3-1. Back for Enfield at center ice. Over the line. Stopped by Ellis. He just wrapped it out to center ice. John Orig shot it over the line. Sittler having difficulty with it. Now he brings it out himself. Sittler to center. Over the line. Got a piece of him. Tried to pass it in front. Green broke his stick. Anfield, number 17, back of the net, over into the corner to Orig. He's checked. The puck came out in front. Here's Sittler going right away. Goal! The puck's in front of the net. Ellis trying to get his shot. It comes back to Anfield over the line for Busick. For McKenzie, and he got his shot away, got the rebound, couldn't center it. Did, and it went through Busick's leg. Dory over the line, gets his shot away, was knocked down, and he gets up slowly, trying to skate back. Harrison out there now. Green shot the puck. There's Bobby Bond going after it. Off the boards. Harrison clears it out to Sittler. Sittler with Ellis. Off his skate. Ellis goes to the boards, holding it with Orig. Play is called, and we'll have a face-off. 9 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. Chicago have taken a 2-1 lead over the New York Rangers. Bobby Howe has snapped the 1-1 deadlock from Stapleton and Mackey at 18-16. So the Blackhawks have the lead for the first time in the game, 2-1 over the Rangers. There you saw our score, the Leafs leading Boston 3-1. Dallas Smith, back of the Boston Bruin net. Gives it to Phil Esposito. There he goes out of his own zone to his blue line. A pass to Orr. Orr gets over the red line. A long shot. Gamble stopped that. Rickley has the rebound. Here's it up for Harrison. Harrison for McMillan. It was too hard. Monahan up to do a bit of forechecking. Orr waits. Gets it to Dallas Smith. Dallas Smith straight up the ice at center. A pass to Phil Esposito with Cashman in front. Esposito back of the net. Bob Bond trying to get the puck out. It goes to the blue line. Dallas Smith is shot. Broken up. Harrison. Up to Monahan at center. Over the line to McMillan. Back to Monahan. Monahan tried to back pass it in front. Harrison fell heavily. Orr trying to get away from Harrison, does. Straight up at center. To the leaf line. Fell. And the puck goes out to center. 8 minutes remaining in the game. As Boston with Dallas Smith pours over the line. Takes his shot, and Rick Lee drops in front of it to cover up.
This is the engine cleaner additive we blend into both SO and SO Extra gasoline. And better overall engine performance.
Faceoff will be in the Maple Leaf zone to the right. That's Derek Sanderson, 16. Woody Westfall is 18. Wayne Carlton, 11. Ted Green is 6. And Rick Smith is 10. Ullman, Anderson, Sache, McKinney, and Dory. Sache knocks the puck to McKinney. McKinney's back of the net. Round on the boards it comes for Henderson. Henderson digs it out to Ullman. Sache is loose on the right side. Ullman over the line. Still has it. Waits. Passed it. McKinney kept it in, then was checked by Sanderson, but McKinney gets back to cover up. Gets the puck into the Boston zone. Green is back of the net. Shot it around for Rick Smith. Sache let it go. McKinney lets his shot go. That hit a leg. It's straight ahead to Sanderson. One man back. Sanderson trying to go around Dory. Dory took him out of the play. Took him out of the board. Comes back to the blue line. There's going to be a penalty here to the Maple Leafs. It's going to go to Dory. Dory will get a hooking penalty. And that's the first penalty to the Leafs since the second period at 1941 when it was for too many men on the ice.
Bill, while I have an opportunity, I'd like to remind
Toronto
our
penalty
viewers.
to number 8, Dory. 2 minutes for hooking. The time, 12:50.
I'd like to remind our viewers that 1 week tonight, the newly named California Golden Seals will be here at Maple Leaf Gardens. This telecast will be brought to you in part by Imperial Oil and Esso dealers, agents, and distributors.
Pittsburgh leading 4-1 now on a goal by Hampson from Jarrett at 7:37. That's in the third period. The face-off is at the Leaf blue line. Bob Vaughn wrapping it down the ice. Orr's got it. Orr back of the net. Leaves it there for Esposito. Drops it to Orr. Orr coming out with 6:54 remaining in the game. It's 3-1 for the Maple Leafs. The shot, look out, that's deflected. And fortunately short of the box seats and ends up in the alleyway on the east side of the Gardens. That's the southeast corner. Keon out there now killing off this penalty with McMillan, Lee, and Vaughn. A shot around on the board. Comes back to Stanfield into the corner for Busick. Back of the net, Rick Lee has it. He goes to the boards. Kicks it loose. Esposito trying to get it back to Orr. Keon comes up with it, fights for it, and finally gets it out. Javier at center to Stanfield. Stanfield to the Leaf line. Vaughn got a piece of it, enough of him, and McMillan made sure and got the puck out. One thing that Vaughn is doing for the Lynx is getting a piece of these players as they come over, giving the wingman a chance to make a play. Hit Johnny Busick over the line. He ran the ball. Along the boards for McMillan. McMillan then hit by Busick. He centered it for Esposito a shot. Campbell stopped that. Keon wraps it down the ice. 5:51 remaining in the game. And there goes Orr after it. And boy, he's winding up. Here he comes. He's got the length of the ice as he straight to center. Over the blue line. Orr going around back of the net. Into the corner. He's checked by Ellis. It's knocked back into the corner. Busick after it. Got it back for McKenzie. McKenzie stopped by Lee. Monahan tries to whack it out. He couldn't. McKinney shoots the puck down the ice with 11 seconds left in Dory's penalty. 5:19 remaining in the game. Toronto 3, Boston 1. Orr to Dallas Smith. Up to the Leaf line. Trying to go all the way. Too well covered. Monahan's pass deflected to Gamble, and he scooped that up and held on to it.
Well, I'd just like to make a point here on that shift just before that, how well Billy McMillan has played, not only on that particular shift, but all through the game, and he's certainly asserting himself out there, and he's dealing out some pretty good body checks.
Vancouver's tied to score with Minnesota. Andre Boudreau from Rosaire Paymo and Paul Popil at 2:22 of the second period. Vancouver 1, Minnesota 1. On the draw, it's Ullman coming out of his own zone. He gives it, and a hard shot by Guy Trache of the Maple Leafs. He's lost his stick. Gets it again. It's centered in front. Rick Smith's pass for Dallas Smith ends up on Dory's stick, and he just lobs it right back in again. Into the corner. Dallas Smith. Up to Derek Sanderson. To Dallas Smith. Up to the Leaf line. And over for Dallas Smith. Henderson got a piece of him. Dory failed to get it out. Does the second time. Rick Smith then flicks it into the crowd in attempting to get it back to Westfall. 4 minutes and 22 seconds. And Vancouver's gone ahead of Minnesota 2-1. As Corrigan has scored from Mackey. That's Wayne Mackey. 4:05 of the second period. The Canucks ahead of the North Stars 2-1. Dallas Smith at the blue line. A pass over the left side for Derek Sanderson. He's covered. Gets it to Dallas Smith, who shot the puck into the Leaf zone, and Gamble stopped it there for Dory. Around for Henderson, but it went off the glass into the crowd, and Domino's, the players are trying to use that glass a lot in the latter stages of this third period.
That was pretty tough to pick that up off the glass, Bill. And there's a look at Jerry Shavers, who many think was last year's star of the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's not playing tonight, of course, with Johnson being in there.
Toronto Maple Leafs 3, Boston 1. Trache trying to get the puck over the line. Dallas Smith is chased back with 3:54 remaining in the hockey game, and the Leafs ahead 3-1. Sanderson to Westfall. Over the line for Wayne Carlton. He's trying to get his shot. McKinney cleared it around on the boards, but not out. It comes to Dallas Smith. There's his shot. That's a deflection. Just went by the corner. It's for Trache. Trache tried to dive to get the puck out as he lost his stick. Here's Sanderson centering it. And Carlton missed the target. There's two Leaf players without their sticks. Henderson gets a hold of it and gets that puck out and down the ice. It's going to go over the red line. But that's an unusual situation.
Cash in on the cold weather protection of Esso-Rad antifreeze. Now only $2.95 a gallon at participating Esso dealers.
Well, a very unusual situation. First, Trache losing his, and as you pointed out, Dory breaking his.
Bill, I can remember an instance back many years ago when Jack Stewart was playing for Detroit Red Wings, and he had a bad wrist. And he used to tie a great big elastic, tape a great big elastic to the end of it, and the other end over his wrist, and he never lost it. He got knocked loose a few times, but he always had the stick.
And, of course, you can't play without it. Sittler's long pass for Ellis. Touch offside. Sittler's pass came from inside the Maple Leaf blue line, and as you saw Ellis take it, as he's skating on your screen now, down back into position, over the checkered line at center. It's going from one zone to the other, and the faceoff comes from where the play was made inside the blue line. Esposito taking a long shot, and will stop that. Brad Selwood in the corner, holding it against the boards. He has it underneath him. Play is called, and right there with him is Wayne Cashman. Boy, there's three big hockey players, and Esposito, Cashman, and Hodge.
That's Kenny Hodge. He's back to having another year like he had a couple years ago when he had 45 goals and 45 assists. You know, Bill, he never really did get on track last year after having that appendectomy at training camp, and he came up with what for him was fairly substandard year with only 25 goals, but he's away and winging again this year.
Right a hand for Bobby Vaughn as he comes out back on that defense. And they're going tough. They put him out there. There's a shot, and that was stopped by Gamble. They're trying to center it. Broken up by Rick Lee. Lee falls. Kenny Hodge coming from the side. Esposito a shot, and Gamble stopped that. He gets a hold of it. It goes loose, and it's picked up by Monahan. Monahan down the right wing. Skated off nicely by Green, who hasn't lost any of his speed either. Esposito with 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Coming straight down the ice with Orr. A pass to Cashman. He shot his goal! Cashman top the bottom left-hand corner, and it's 3-2.
Well, Bill, he certainly had a night for backhand tonight because Cashman picked up this pass from Bobby Orr. Never brought it over on his forehand at all. He needs all kinds of strength on that shot, and he beat Gamble about 2-3 inches off the ice into that long side. But a beautiful backhand, almost identical to the
Boston goal scored by number 12, Cashman. Assist number 4, Orr, and number 7, Esposito. The time, 17:35.
Well, it's 17:35. And the Bruins right back in the thick of things now with 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the game. Toronto 3, Boston 2. Stanfield, Busick, McKenzie, Dallas Smith, Rick Smith, Ullman, Henderson, Ellis, McKinney, and Dory. McKinney back to Dory. Up for Ullman. To Henderson. Offside. Face-off outside the blue line with 2:16 left. Toronto leading Boston 3-2 on Wayne Cashman's goal from Orr and Esposito at 17:35. McKinney keeps the puck in. There's his shot. Knocked down by Dallas Smith to McKinney again. A shot into the corner. Ullman centered it. Henderson missed it. And it's picked off by Johnny McKenzie. Up to Stanfield. Over the line. Drops it to McKenzie. Hits it over on the wing to Dallas Smith. A shot. And that was stopped. McKinney cleared it but not out. Comes over for Henderson, and Henderson backhands the puck out with 1:44 left. Shot back into the lead zone. Dory. Up for Henderson. It goes off his stick for Orr. Orr over the line, and it's offside as McKenzie couldn't get out in time. 1:31 left. Toronto 3, Boston 2. There's the time remaining to play. Esposito, High, Cashman, Orr, and Stanfield. They're using 5 forwards and 1 defenseman. There's 4 forwards, 1 defenseman. And from the draw, it's Orr off the boards for Hodge. Hodge gets it in for Esposito. McKinney trying to block it. He's right on the goal line. As Gamble looked like that was going to go through his leg, but he got his back leg behind it.
We'll take another look at that again, Bill, with Hodge clearing that puck in and Esposito just picking it up off Brad Selwood's stick here. And look at it here, and I was the same as you. I thought it had gone through Gamble's legs, but he got that foot down and steered it back just as it was going in behind him.
Well, they can't come any closer than that without scoring. All set to go. McMillan and Cashman mixing it up a little bit. Esposito is chased out of there. So he goes back inside the blue line. 1 minute and 21 seconds remaining. Hodge losing to Keon. Keon bringing it out. Stanfield to Esposito. Esposito coming back over the line. Bond goes after Cashman. Takes him into the board. The puck is back in the net. There's McMillan after it.
Last minute of play in the game.
Less than a minute to go, and the face-off as Eddie Johnson is coming over to the bench. So it's 6 attackers with 59 seconds left. And coming out, off to his finest season, I believe, Johnny Busick with 10 goals so far this year, Bob.
And you take a look at that firepower that the Bruins have got out there, Bill, and the Leafs have to be at their best to hold off this last-minute surge of the Boston Bruins when they're using the 6 attackers. Eddie Johnson sitting on the Bruin bench.
And they got Vaughn out there with Rick Lee, Sittler, Keon, and McMillan. Esposito, Busick, Cashman, Stanfield, Hodge, and Orr. On they face off. The puck goes back. Here comes to Orr. It's knocked into the corner. Vaughn after it. Vaughn tries to hold it there. He lost it. Keon gets a hold of it. Keon trying to bring it out. Still has it off the boards to McMillan. McMillan takes his shot, and he missed the net. Clearing pass for the Bruins. Disick takes down the ice. Stopped by Bond, who got it out. Orr trying to pick his way over the line. Gets it over to Esposito, a shot. That's wide. It goes along the board. Fittler's got it. Fittler going down with Keon. The empty net. Closing in. Keon shoots. Oh, he hit the goalpost. Keon's backhand hits the goalpost. A pass to Esposito with 8 seconds. Going in. Grabbed, knocked outside by Bond. Ricky Lee gets it to Fittler. 2 seconds left. Takes the shot. Scores! But the game is over. And the Toronto Maple Leafs have defeated the Boston Bruins in a real cliffhanger by a score of 3-2. In just a moment, a 3-star selection.
Away, can you come away? Will you come today and for all time? It's a brand new world and it's here for you. So come on, let's stick to the road and do what we want to do.
Now, come into a brand new world of performance with SO Extra and SO Regular. Now both with the engine cleaner to take you and your car into the clean world of performance.
It's a brand new world and it's here for you. So come on, let's take to the road and do what we want to do. It's a brand new world.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the 3 stars of tonight's game selected by Foster Hewitt. The first star, Bobby Bond. Second star, Bobby Orr. And the third star, Bruce Campbell.
Well, Foster, that was quite a hockey game, and you know, if the Leafs could play the top clubs in this league, they might pick up many more points.
That's right. I don't think you'll see a better hockey game than that in years, Jack. It had everything. Boston were on a par with the Leafs all the way through, and they were forcing the play at the close, but I thought Gamble made some sensational saves. Bobby Orr is just amazing.
And it was great to see the old warhorse come back and give the Leafs all that confidence.
I think he was the turning point in the game. He provided the fireworks. He threw the body around in the early part of the game particularly. He led them and carried that puck out of dangerous situations. I thought Bobby Bond really was the leader of the Leafs tonight. And it was his constant heavy body checking, and in fact, Lee played very well, too, on the Leaf defense, I thought.
Well, don't you think Bond gave the whole Leaf defense corps quite a lot more confidence than they've had in recent games?
I think he steadied them completely. And, of course, Dallas Smith was running a close second to Bobby Orr. He's another tremendous hockey player.
You know, Foster, it's a bit of a paradox, but the one man on the Leaf Club who I thought really handled the heavy going tonight is the fellow who has played on a team that normally goes for a lack of body checking. That's Billy McMillan with the National Club.
That's right. I think it's a hard game to pick stars where about 8 of them could be chosen. But it was a great hockey game, and the fans really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Foster. Hockey Night in Canada continues in just a moment.
This is Sita with a nose that can pick up the scent of salmon from 20 paces. And this is Stretch and Seal, a new kind of food wrap from Esso Research. We've put new Stretch and Seal between the cat and the salmon. Stretch and Seal has been placed on this container to show how effectively it stretches to seal airtight. See how it stretches? Sita can't even smell the tasty salmon from inches away. Now see what happens when we remove the Stretch and Seal wrap. Stretch and Seal seals so effectively it fools a hungry cat. Stretch and Seal has this unique combination of stretch and strength to seal airtight without tearing. Get strong, stretchy Stretch and Seal next time you buy food wrap. It's available in all food markets. Stretch and Seal, new from Esso Research.
The three stars once again, Bond, Orr, and Gamble. Looking now at the out-of-town scoreboard, that game in Pittsburgh should be just about over. Penguins are leading 5-1. St. Louis leads Montreal 1-0. Frank Marseille getting the goal there. Chicago leading New York 2-1. Bobby Hull having just scored. And Vancouver and Minnesota are all tied up 2-2, and that's at the end of the second period. Now, we would like to remind you that on Wednesday, Buffalo, led by Punch Imlach, the return of the Punch, will be here in Toronto for that game on Wednesday night. And now that Goyette and Marshall are back in the lineup, the Sabres will be a little bit stronger than they have been to date. And next Saturday, depending where you are in the country, California will be playing the Toronto Maple Leafs in Maple Leaf Gardens on the regional game, and the Rangers will be in the form against the Canadiens. So the final score of tonight's game, the Toronto Maple Leafs 3, the Boston Bruins 2. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Ward Cornell. Good night, everyone.
Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Imperial Oil and Esso dealers, agents, and distributors. Ford, the better idea company with better products for you. And by Molson, brewers of Molson Export Ale and Molson Canadian Lager Beer. Hockey Night in Canada is protected by copyright. Unauthorized reproduction by any means, in whole or in part, is not permitted.
From Nigeria, filmed accounts of the year following the Civil War, and from British Columbia, Tallgrass Indians with a problem. CBC Weekend reports tomorrow night. This is the CBC Television Network.